On today's episode, we're taking a look at our latest gear hauler build out. Stay tuned. Hey everybody, Matt here for AVC and welcome back to the shop. On today's episode, we are taking a look at our latest gear hauler build out. Now the gear hauler is probably our core van here at AVC, and the idea is that it has a huge garage in the back. It has some optional seating here in the front. We have a nice 48-inch kitchenette that's fully featured on the driver's side front quarter panel. We got overhead cabinets, and that's it. I would call this the quintessential camper van. But before we dive into the inside, let's take a look at the platform and the exterior of this vehicle. All right, so out here on the outside of the vehicle, let's first talk about the platform. So this is a Ford Transit high roof 148 long body. This is the EcoBoost all-wheel drive van, and this is kind of your like go-to standard size for everything. So I love the high roof, I love the long body van. It's a perfect seat for, sleep for size vehicle. The only larger van is the extended van that has that longer butt on the van, but that affects departure angle, so this one drives a little bit easier. So the customer ordered it with the factory fixed glass here and on the back doors. They also got the 360 camera from Ford, which I'm a really big fan of. The 360 camera gives you cameras on both sides and on the front of the van. They got the blackout HID headlights. I'm a big fan of those. They got fog lamps. All these things are kind of the perfect options to add into your van. And if you're curious how to order a van, we have a video for that. Check that link in the description below. We have a transit ordering guide. With the vehicle specs out of the way, we can get into what AVC has done to this van. So the first thing we did was put a blackout sliding door rail on this. The blackout rail is a really nice touch. It's the only silver thing on a van, and so getting that blackout just kind of unifies everything into that nice crisp black and white look. We also added running boards from Rover Vans down here. Rover Vans is a really cool shop where we really love a lot of their products. We use a lot of their exteriors on our vans. They make transit running boards that I think look really nice and are overdone. So that's kind of our go-to running board for this platform. Coming around the front of the van, we didn't do anything on the exterior of the van here. They do have the blackout HID headlights, which I really like. Inside we have the dash cam, so that's kind of a front feature, but not really. We have running boards over here on the passenger side as well. So we have a nice step to get in on this side. The running board does continue itself out throughout the vehicle, just kind of gives that unified look. Up here we have a C.R. Lawrence awning style window. This is the 293L. So it's a double awning pane with a picture glass over the top. This is probably our second favorite window to put on the driver's side front. And then in the back on both sides of the vehicle, we have these bunk windows. So these are the awning style windows from Flare Space. We like this size because it matches the CRL 1033 slider. It also matches our cubby pocket frames. You're gonna see those inside. So this is kind of our go-to awning window. Back at the back of the van here, we're also keeping it really simple. No needed additions at all. We do have the rear camera for the Wolf box, so we have a live view rear monitor, which is really nice. That means we can leave our window shades up in these back doors. We don't have to worry about taking them up or down. We can still see behind us safely on the highway. And then the last thing is up on top of the van, we have our AVC roof rack. We have a rooftop AC unit by Velit. It's the Velit 2000R, and we have the Max Air fan up in the front. With the exterior details out of the way, let's go ahead and open the door and check out the inside. Before we get into the details of this van, let's talk about all the different finishes we put into this vehicle. Okay, so our ceiling is the bamboo ceiling upgrade. Okay, so this is just a ceiling with a satin water-based finish. Really easy to install. It's a really nice, elegant look. I think this is kind of your go-to spot if you want a real wood-looking piece in your van. We went with a felt wall kit in here to save weight and keep down our sound, and this is the olive colorway. So if you're curious about what olive looks like in a van, this is the olive felt wall. We have a bottle glass quartz countertop in the kitchen, and that's a Formica Everform countertop. We have a dark gray for the kitchenette, and it's just a dark gray that we have in here in-house. I'll have to pull the RAL color, so if you're curious about that, we can throw some of the finishes and color codes in the description below. And then on the floor here, we did our insulated subfloor system, and then this is the 2Tech2 Dune. The Dune colorway is a little bit darker in the brown, in the kind of that brown look, and it has this chevron pattern, which is pretty cool. It was really busy when the van was empty, but now the van is like filled out and it has all the pieces and parts in it. It doesn't look as busy, and it's actually a really cool accent point. I'm happy with it. The last thing to point out is all the pieces and parts that we've wrapped here in the van. This is the Burn Eucalyptus colorway. It was kind of the closest match we could get to olive, and I think it ties all the different things together. It's kind of got some greens and some grays, so it bridges the gap between the van headliner and the back here with that olive felt wall kit. I think it was a good choice. So here in the sliding door, we have a bug screen by Van Essential. It's our favorite bug screen because it's really easy to set up, take down. It's a magnet enclosure on this side, and my dog has learned how to just push through this. That means I can leave the door open, I can leave the bug screen down, the dog can get in and out without me having to let him in, and it keeps the bugs out of the van. excellent, excellent choice. It's also pretty affordable, which is really nice. Installs really easy, just clips onto the bulb seal area. And then with our new step-in trim that we have here, we have a nice cutout for the bulb seal. That makes installing this piece that much easier. Really started to plan ahead because we put these on so many builds. Tucked behind the bug screen here on the pillar, we have our B-pillar Lagoon mount. This is the slim mount by Lagoon, and you can go with the slim or the classic. Either one works fine for whatever your purpose is. When it goes on a bracket like this, the slim mount works great, so we just kept it nice and simple here. Moving into the build out, underneath the passenger seat, we have our Espar AS3 B2L heater. So that's the smaller of the two gasoline heaters, and it's just tucked nicely underneath the passenger seat here. Fits really well. It's a really nice sized heater for this size van. It's kind of our go-to, like I said. We also used the snap out fitting over here on the right side. You can spin our logo out of our Espar trim. You can put a 12-volt socket here. Customer wanted that because they're into paddle boards and stuff, so it's a really nice addition, really simple addition too. On the side of the seat base, we kept the functionality of the Ford factory little 400-watt inverter over here. You'll see a couple of bolts because we remounted that inverter to the side of the seat base. It's a really easy project at home if you're adding your Espar furnace and you don't want to lose that plug. Of course, the vehicle came with these factory swivel seats, so I swiveled both of these around. Makes a really nice open space up here in the van and really opens up the front of the vehicle. I do get questions a lot about having a full-featured kitchen and having this swivel seat on the driver's side. And can you sit in this seat and face the kitchen? Well, the answer is not really. You know, like if I really wanted to, I could, but this is goofy, awkward. A lot of times I'll just kind of sit here like this. My old van had this configuration in it, and this was kind of my go-to spot. Is I could sit here, I can face 120 degrees into the van. I can set my dinner and stuff like that up here, and it still functions as another seat for the build out. It's just probably not your like go-to primary seat. So before we leave the cabin, I did want to point out that Wolfbox rear view mirror. That one's hardwired into the vehicle system, gives us a front camera, rear camera, and allows for security mode. So when the van is parked, it's going to record anybody that's bumping and messing with the van for you. The customer did not get the overcab shelf here, or the sun visors from Ford factory, and so they're gonna have to do an aftermarket shelf by somebody else. But I did just get word that Van Essential has an aftermarket shelf that's gonna work with this configuration, so I know a lot of people have been waiting for that one. Check out Van Essential for that. We'll link it in the description below. Attached to the side of our kitchenette here with our table latch is our Lagoon table. For the Lagoon table in this van, we went with a 3/4 inch bamboo tabletop, which is super nice. That's set up to sit here in the passenger seat, and we could set up with an additional cleat if we wanted to, but we sized it so that we can sit here in the non-passenger bench. I can sit with you there in the passenger seat, and we can have a nice dinner together and enjoy the view at the screen door. Of course, that store's super easy, out of the way, nice and safe behind our driver's seat and clipped in here. So we can take a look at the features of our kitchenette. This is our gear hauler kitchenette, which is 48 inches wide and 36 inches tall. We have a nice deep sink by Tech Van Life. This is the first Tech Van Life sink that we've done, and we did this because the customer wanted an additional handle that they could use for a shower. So this is super cool. We have a portable shower setup that we can use here. It's the Touareg bunker shower, and that just gives them a little shower basin. They can pull this out, they can use their shower. It's one faucet for everything, and then just feed this back in. Of course, this is a hot and cold faucet. It has kind of a nice, it has the sprayer mode, and then you can just push a button in here, and you have like normal rinse mode, which is pretty cool. So happy with that. And then this pushes down out of the way, and you can put this over the top, and you have a really nice slick countertop, which is actually a really nice touch. I like having no faucet sticking up here permanently. Also built into the countertop, we have our true induction cooktop, and that's just over here off to the right. We have a nice simple outlet, so if you need to plug in just like a tea kettle, your blender, or something like that, you can do that. Below the induction cooktop, we have a big, deep silverware drawer here. And then below that, we have the ISOtemp Indelmarine fridge. This is the 130 liter. We usually go with a truck fridge 130. They've been hard to come by these days, so we just upgraded to the ISOtemp or isotherm. It's basically the same thing, just with a fancier name on it. Okay, we have a secondary drawer over here next to the sink. We just had a little bit of dead space, so it made sense to just throw a little drawer in there. And then we did French doors underneath the kitchenette, and that was because we wanted to keep the swing of the door to a minimum. Okay, so we have matching Molly panel on both doors. One's holding our fire extinguisher, the other one's set up. You could add whatever you like. And then underneath the sink, we have a inline water filter for the water faucet here, so your cold water is going to be filtered for drinking. And then we have our waterless P-trap, all of our PEX fittings, things like that. Nothing too exciting there, but lots of storage. So really nice to have all that storage. Our sink drains into an undermount gray tank by GoCode. It's their 20-gallon Transit driver's side tank. We have our standard overhead cabinet for the Ford Transit, and then we did the microwave edition. So a customer wanted a microwave, so we have a nice Greystone microwave built into this overhead, which means that we don't have a lift-up door on this side. We just have a standard swing door here. But inside this, we have another 110 plug that's sharing functionality with the microwave. But we have a decent amount of storage in here, so you can still get some good pantry items next to your microwave, not lose a lot of storage. Of course, in the back, we have our standard overhead cabinets, like a his and hers nice overhead cabinet, or like in my van, I use this one for pantry. Has charging port in here, and then we have charging ports in the back for the other items that they might have. Nice soft close latches here. Really happy with how these colors came out. So rounding out the front half of the van here is our non-passenger bench. And we call this a non-passenger bench because it doesn't have seat belts. So any bench that we build here in the shop, we never put seat belts on, and we just call them a non-passenger bench. And we always design them to house a potty. So this one is designed so that it can house a wrap-on Sunny toilet, or you could put in a Dometic 972. It's kind of your choice, whatever you want to go to for a potty. There might be kind of a cool video, do a breakdown on different potty technology. You'll see a 12-volt outlet in the back there, and that's because this customer decided to go with a wrap-on Sunny. I guess I can also point out that it bolts into the floor to our JMG plate. So this customer also has 2 individual JMG seats that they can put in and out of here. Most of the time, it's just a couple, so it's just the 2 of them, and they're going to run this. But if they have family in town or the kids want to borrow the van, something like that, they can take this out. They can put 2 seats in here. The only thing it's going to really change about the van is it's going to be hard to access items underneath this kitchen sink. And honestly, sometimes there's just a trade-off for things. Getting 2 additional seat belts in here and having a fully functioning kitchenette. Our primary design choice was for this configuration, but if they need to put those seats in here, they just have to be thoughtful about what they put under the kitchen. So the heart of the camper van here in the gear hauler is the garage area and the nice big queen-size bed. So we have a north-south sleeping configuration. This is a proper queen-size bed, so 80 by 60, and we have it on our electric bed lift system. So push a button here, it's going to lift up and out of the way. And this is super nice because we never have to take our bed or our bedding apart. We can just push the bed up and out of the way, get to all of our items inside the back of the van, and we don't have to worry about, messing with bed panels, any of that kind of stuff. So nests nicely up and out of the way. Now I can get back here into the cargo area and then get all of our gear and everything that we might need. This is going to be our first configuration. We're going to make all of this available online so you can build this for yourself at home. So if you're interested in getting this build out for yourself, go ahead and check some of those links in the description. We're going to have all these cabinets and things linked there for you to find. On the passenger side, we have our EcoFlow power kit. So we have a 5K power kit in here, and this is the Gen 1 power kit. And we have room for an expansion up to 10 kilowatts of battery. So right now we just have the 5 kilowatt battery, but it's as easy as taking this face off, putting in a secondary battery, and plugging it in, and then instantly double your power system size. In the back of this here, we just have some extra storage. So we try to keep everything as concise as possible. We have all of that here in one front area. We have some Molly grid here in the faceplate, and that doubles as venting for heat for our electrical. But we have a nice big open cabinet that's accessible from the back of the van here that you can use to tuck some nice storage out of the way. Then over here on the passenger side, we have a 20-gallon freshwater tank in the back. We have our pump and everything underneath here. So if we need to get to our pump, get to our winterizing valves, we can just open up this hatch and get to all of those. Easy. And then in the front here, we have our IsoTemp 4.2 slim hot water heater. It's our go-to hot water heater. You've seen this in a bunch of our videos. It's kind of it's the king of water heaters for the vans. Nice and slim, easy to mount, and then everything fits nicely underneath the bed here. So that's all the features underneath the bed, but I can go ahead, I can hit this button, I can bring the bed down and out of the way, and we can talk about some of the features up here in bed. So up here in the bed, we have a nice luxurious Roam Rest 5-inch premium mattress. Really nice, comfortable mattress. The best night's sleep I've had in a van has been on a Roam Rest mattress, and we're psyched to put these in our vans now. On both sides of the bed here, we have these flare space awning windows, and we have our Van Essential window shades covering those. The reason we like that flare space window is that it fits our cubby window frame. So this is our cubby window frame, has some nice storage in here. If I want to put my phone in here at night, I can do that. I can keep everything charged. Also fits these window shades really nicely. So if I want to have these window shades down, but they can be tucked in here, I never have to climb out of bed to go find them and put them up. And then in the center here, we have a nice charging center. So you can plug our phones in at night, keep everything close at hand, put your Kindle in there, whatever you need. The customer asked for a custom cubby up here in the front. We couldn't do this on both sides because we have so much wiring coming down to all the amenities on that side. But over here we have a nice thin cubby that we can store like your laptop or maybe a newspaper. Well, I don't know. It's not the 90s, so nobody reads a newspaper, but I'm sure we'll find something cool to put in there. Also back here at the back of the van, we did some custom reading lamps. These were requested by the customer, which is actually really nice. So you can put these on both sides. You could read a book and not disturb your neighbor if you wanted to turn that one off and kind of have this angled away. So you could, you can be in here and have some individual light just for you here in the back of the van, which is pretty cool. Above us, we have our Velit 2000R AC unit, and it's a warm day today, so they're going to be happy they have this thing in here to keep them cool at night. The last piece here on the roof, in tandem with the AC unit there in the back, is our Max fan up here. Max Fan Deluxe is kind of your standard go-to fan, nothing special about that one. We do have a cool new reflected fan cover from Van Essential, so that's kind of nice. Keep a little bit more heat out everywhere we can, so that's kind of a nice addition. I always recommend putting a cover on your fan because it just keeps that sound down. It's a little bit nicer when you're driving. Over the passenger side door here, we have our control panel, and you're going to see this more and more from us here at AVC. Putting the control panel on this side gets it up and out of the way, gives us more storage in our overhead cabinets on that side, and it's just an underutilized space in the van, so it makes a lot of sense to put our control panel here. So we have our touchscreen control for the EcoFlow power kit. You can see we're pulling 170 watts of solar down. We're outputting 80 watts to some of our items here in the van, and we're at a 39% charge. Looks like we need to plug this thing into shore power. We have our S-bar furnace control here, and then we have our front and rear zone lighting. We can push these and dim them on and off. We can press and hold, and we can set the dim for our cabin here. It's really nice to be able to have a dimmer for all of your lighting. That way at night, if you get up in the middle of the night, you don't have these super bright lights. You can just have it nice and soft. Here at the back of the van, we have a few things going on too. Of course, we already talked about our EcoFlow power kit on the passenger side, but right back here, we have our cargo lights. I can press this button and light up these LED strips on both sides of our cargo area, so we can see all of our cargo underneath our bed. It's a place that not a lot of this light gets to, and we like to have that accessible here at the back of the vehicle, so when we open the back doors, we can see what the heck's going on here. We added a 110 outlet and a 12-volt outlet, so they can do whatever kind of charging and power needs they need here at the back. And then on the and then over here on the driver's side, we have our water system configuration. So we have a water pump switch here that's going to turn on our water here at the back of the vehicle. We have our Tetravan portable shower. Okay, really easy to set up. I just take the Tetravan shower handle out of the bag, press and connect it here to my quick connect. Then I can turn on my water system, turn on my shower, and we're ready to go. This one has the push of a button so we can save some water as we're taking our shower. So I can, get myself wet. I can turn this off, soap up, rinse myself. We can manage our water, which is a really important thing when in a camper van. Okay. We have a mixing valve here, so we do have a hot shower off the back of the vehicle, which is super nice. And it's really easy to take apart too. Just quick connect like that. Drain the hose so we make sure we don't have any water stuck in the hose for the next time. Then we simply coil it up, put it back in the supplied bag, and tuck it away for our next shower. And a really great place to tuck that away is in these Van Essential rear lower door storage compartments. So these replace your factory plastics down below. You've seen these in my van. I keep all my trail shoes, stuff like that on this side. A lot of times I'll keep my water fill hose and stuff like that over here. But it's just a really nice addition to have some extra storage here at the back of the van that is just underutilized space. We also have these Van Essential window shades here at the back. This is their newer window shade that has these little cubbies here at the bottom. It's just nice that they're always innovating, adding features to their products. They're not raising prices based on this stuff. In fact, they've had a huge price drop. So if you're looking to pick up window shades for your van, it's never been a better time. Go ahead and check them out. We'll have a link to all that stuff in our description too. So if you made it this far in the video, I just want to say thanks for watching. And if you want to get any of these pieces and parts for your home build, go ahead and check out those links in the description below. We're starting to offer more and more, and we're making it easier and easier for you to build a professional level camper van at home. We also want to hear from you, so let us know in the comments, what is your favorite piece of this van? Do you have questions about some of the design choices we made for this build out? Hit us up in the comments. We're happy to answer your questions there, and it's a great place to gather a little bit more information. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video.